Well, we come to you at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement tonight, Blog Talk Radio. For you in Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, where you might be, this is Bishop Turner. I got some things I want to talk about tonight, and we want to talk about uh, what's going on in the community and some of the things that we must deal with as we talk about those things. We're talking about the $1 trillion flow, and we're talking about doors being opened up for you. And I want you to be able to listen and be involved in the movement, some things that we'll be doing in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement. And we're talking about racism, white supremacy, jealousy, and all that in the $1 trillion flow. This is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement tonight. And this broadcast is for people trying to move to the next level. And we're going to be telling you some things tonight, sharing some things with you tonight in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement. And I want to thank those that came to our revival last week. It was a success by the telephone call that we got and by people contacting us about the broadcast. And I want to thank those that have called in for the broadcast, those that was involved in the broadcast, and those that have called us and asked us questions about what's going on across this country. And we're going to talk about that tonight. God is always in the mix of things, whether you know it or not. And I want to say to you tonight that as we get ready to talk about the Martin Luther King Jr. movement, this is first month, the 30th day, tomorrow the 31st, this is 30th. I want to give you a report on what's going on and where we should be at. And I'm going to keep it real tonight. You might not like what I say, but I'm going to tell the truth. And in the spirit of Martin Luther King, in the spirit of Marcus Garvey, in the spirit of our ancestor, I want to talk to you. We have strayed away from what our forefathers had envisioned for us. And the reason I'm telling you that, because we have strayed way away from what our ancestor had for us in plan. So in the Dr. King movement, I want you to understand that tonight, that we have strayed away and we must come back to where we at. We're talking about the $1 trillion flow. We're talking about the money. And we didn't get our 40 acres and a mule that the Republican Party and Democratic Party promised us when we come out of slavery with Abraham Lincoln. We didn't get the 40 acres and a mule. But what we did get was a loss of hanging, killing. A lot happened to us. Yes, we do. That's Dr. Martin Luther King. He's saying that we got some difficult days ahead. Being a prophet of God, being a man with vision, we do have difficult days ahead. This is Bishop Turner. I'm your host tonight. And I want to talk about the difficult days that we have ahead. First, I want to take you back, just back to when we came over on the ship, in the bottom of the ship. And when we came, we were slaves. We came here like horses, mules. We were changed and gagged and we brought here. And after they got us, after they got our ancestors here in America. You know what happened? Some of the things happened to us when they brought us here. We didn't have a job. Some of us was killed, murdered. We worked from sun up to sundown. And I'm talking about our ancestors. Dr. King said that we got some difficult days ahead. And I want to share with you tonight some of those difficult days that we got that is ahead of us. First, by being disobedient and unity, and the rest that blacks that get in power sell us out or play us cheap or don't look out for us, they look out for themselves. This is some of the problems that we've been had. We got teachers that teach. They're trying to fire all the teachers. So if they fire all the, the teachers, that means you ain't got nobody to educate you. And already we have been miseducated about our history. We don't know about Africa. We want to go to Europe and France and Paris. When you say I don't want to go to Africa, Africa was portrayed as heathen, as Hollywood did it. So we're caught up. And this is what Dr. King said. I want to play this a little bit more. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now. Because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up this mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get. Dr. King made that speech in Memphis. And this is what Dr. King was up against in Memphis. He had people that was in his camp working for the FBI, working for the CIA. He had traitors in his camp. And he understood that when he called the boycott on Coca-Cola and called for an international boycott in Chicago and New York and California, he know that they was going to kill him because he was talking about we got $67 trillion buying power right now. And Dr. King was talking about back then, let's shut it down. Let's don't spend no money. Let's hold our money where we can get some buying power. Dr. King was killed in Memphis, and he was set up, and he was set up by black folks, and he was killed. And I believe it was a conspiracy. Not only it was those other people, it was other people involved also in his killing, because Dr. King was saying that we should boycott some of these businesses that's not letting us work and letting us go. Now let's deal with Martin Luther King tonight. I want to deal with Dr. King tonight. Where would Dr. King be today? What side would he be on? And how would he take what's going on today? Think about Dr. King was for people of color. He was for people that was poor. He was for people, he was against the war because the war was a money maker. The Vietnam War was a money maker for the big corporation, the rich folks. So Dr. King was about feeding the hungry, clothing the naked. He was about economic development. He was about housing. He was about getting blacks at another level. Maybe you might not understood. I was talking to Brother Charles William earlier, and he said, Bishop, I want to sit down with you, and I want to come on the show, because he was Dr. King's chauffeur and was Dr. Ralph David Abernathy's chauffeur when he came to Chicago, Brother Charles William. we're gonna have him on one Monday where he can share with you some of the ideas and the philosophy of Dr. King. Some of you thought you know Dr. King because you said I have a dream. It was deeper than I have a dream. It was about a black man coming up in business, in economics, in school. Somewhere, the backlash of the movement have left us robbed and raped and killing ourselves. I want to keep it real tonight. You can go to church and shout hallelujah all the time, but we got to have some union, some unity. You can bring all the politicians in if they're not for melanated people and they ain't for what our ancestors. We just got somebody in the White House, we got somebody in the governor house, we got somebody as a mayor, as an alderman. They're not doing what they ought to do. Now I want to share some things with you tonight. It might shock you. You might leave here upset because you think everything going hunky dory, but it's not going. We're in a worse situation than we was before Dr. King come on the scene. Look around you. Racism. When you deal with racism at the core, when you deal with homosexuality at the core, and black people think it's all right to switch over. So we're in a situation tonight, going into this is 2017, going into 2018. We're in 2017. This is the first month of the year. Look where we at. Look around. Look where we at. Now, we have supported the Democratic Party from Jump Street all the way. And we don't have a car company. We don't have no. What I'm talking about? Tell me what the Chinese got a car. The, the Russian got a car. They got Mercedes, and every race got a car. What I mean by that, they got their car. We don't have a car. We built this country. Our ancestors built New York, built Chicago, built America. Black people, melanated people. Look what we have. We got coons running around here. We got coons, and I think Malcolm said you got some Uncle Toms. He said Toms. I think Malcolm called them Toms. And what that means, you got people that got involved so with the slave master that they think they have become the black slave masters. They is worse than the slave. The slave master would give you slack, but the black slave master don't give you no slack. They mean, they dirty, and they look like you, act like you, but they ain't like you. They look down on you. And this is some of the stuff that Dr. King, we got some difficult days ahead of us. So we got to sort out all of this violence that's going on. We are made to hate each other. The killing in Chicago, right here in Chicago, 1,000 people killed, 500 injured. This month alone, got 78 people been killed, and I think 200 injured. This is the first month of the year, and we still doing it. Yes, Dr. King's dream had become a nightmare because the dream keepers, let me say this, the dream keepers didn't keep the dream. Those that was right with Dr. King, that marched with him, talked to him, they turned their back on Dr. King and went a different way. Some went to Washington, some went in private business. What that left? That left the poor people with no voice. It left the poor people with no jobs. And you can say what you want to. You are better off because of what Dr. King did. You're better off tonight. You you are better off tonight because of what your ancestors did. They built New York. They did the landscape to Washington, D.C. They did the landscape to Chicago, New York, California. The ancestors. And the things that we get, we kill each other now. We are more dangerous to each other than anybody in the community. And this is sad that we let this go on. And I want to speak tonight where you might understand how serious and critical this is. And right now, as I speak, Dr. King says some difficult days ahead. It's more difficult now than it was in the period of Dr. King because we are killing each other by the hundreds and thousands and no regards. Our moral leaders, the moral leaders is the ministers, and they have turned their back and letting everything go. Homosexuality is running wild, and young people say, "Well, it's all right." It's not all right. I mean, you got to understand, God have a divine law, and God said man and woman. Guess what? What if your parents had went into the gay field? You wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. Now you might be getting mad because I'm saying that. Somebody have dropped the ball. Somebody have put money over life. Now look around. There's more violence down in Jackson, Mississippi. There's more violence down in Little Rock, Arkansas. More violence in New Orleans and Houston and Dallas. Right in America. And one of the things that I'm going to deal with Trump and his situation, I'm going to deal with that. Because you need to know the truth. People have been lying to you, saying I'm a good Democrat, I'm a good Republican. If it ain't helping you, Democrat or Republican, it ain't no good. If the shoe got a hole in it, take the shoe off and walk barefooted. You know what I'm saying? How can you pull? How can you pull your boot up and scrap it and you ain't got no boots? You ain't got no authority. You ain't got no economic development in America. You know, everybody have come and stole from you, black man. They've stole from you, stole your culture, stole your women, stole your children, and stealing your life. It's a divine plan on what's going on. Now, I'm going to say this. Maybe you want to chip in later on. It's all right. I want to say this because this is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. movement. If Dr. King was living, he would be sadly mistaken that all the achievement, the civil rights bill, and all the things that you can go now and get housing, they're going to cut that off. All the stuff that Dr. King achieved because we're not standing on the wall, we're not marching, we're not protesting, we're getting quiet. Other people are protesting, other people is raising hell, and we ain't nowhere raising the hell because we have cut our own self off. And you know, it's very important for your grandmother, your great grandmother, your ancestors, the land that they fought, fight for, the land that you got. They have to fight for that land, and you want to sell it or give it away, or they take it from you. You know, we had all kind of land down south. Most of the land is gone. And I want to tell people that got land, hold on to your land. The most important thing you got is land. Don't sell your land, and don't let them cheat you out of your land. And that's what it's about. Because when the government gave Europeans, when they came over, they gave them land and gave them expertise how to farm the land and gave them many acres. Right in Mississippi, we had to fight for the black farmers. They're able to get something, and white farmers, they gave it to the white farmer. The black farmers down in Chula, down in Greenwood, Greenville, Natchez, all down through the South, Alabama. They had to fight just for the government to give them seed money to grow stuff. And some of them, they took the land on tax and all of this kind of stuff that happened. I want to tell you tonight, we're a long ways from being free. And it seems like our children don't understand how precious freedom is. I just want to say that to you tonight. And you got to understand, ain't no successful movement without God. There's no movement successful without God involved. I want to say that to you, melanated people. I want to say that to you, black man, black woman, black family. We have to get the black family back together. It have strayed away. They have went into other vineyards and think they can make it. You can't make it that you come back to family. And that's the most important thing I feel tonight, that we got to come back to family. And we come back to that. And Dr. King said there's some difficult days. And I want to play that because I want to lock that into you, that you ain't seen bad yet. You haven't seen starvation yet. You've seen homeless, but you haven't seen the government turn it back against you. The government which you fought in Vietnam and Korea. You fought in Afghanistan and come home and couldn't get, you're a veteran, you can't see a doctor, you can't see a dentist, and you just died with cancer or Agent Orange because ain't nobody really standing up. We have got so liberal that we have forgot to love each other. I'm not talking about black, white folks. Now I'm talking about black folks. I'm talking about melanated folks that have turned to be coons, get a little money, and they forget where they come from. Yeah, we got plenty of coons out here. We got plenty of niggas out here. And I ain't talking about white folks. White folks been calling you niggas in slavery a long time. So if that upsets you, you better hang up tonight. If that upsets you, because they called that to my mama, my great grandma. They called it to us on the farm, and they gave a little piece of land. And when they let us out of slavery, we didn't have nowhere to go. We didn't have no shoes, and we didn't have no land. When you turn a man loose and you don't give him nothing, you have to fend for yourself. This would happen to our ancestors. And your kids and my kids, our kids want to smoke dope and smoke reefers and take crack and drink and think that's all right. That's a means of destroying us. The Native American was gave whiskey and they put on the reservation. And right now, as I speak, we got young blacks are dope fiends, young blacks on crack, cocaine, sniffing glue. And ain't no where's the moral voice of America? They killed the moral voice. Dr. King was the moral, he was the moral voice of America. They killed him. And they killing you and me slowly. If you kill our young folks, you kill our future. I wish I had somebody to know what I'm talking about tonight. And I want to set this mega preachers preaching prosperity and letting everything go on in their churches. God is getting ready to shut some of them churches down. I'm not going. God gonna shut them down because the ancestry gonna shut them down because we have lost where we supposed to go. We have lost our direction, and one man can't direct us. It take a village. It take men and women praying together, coming together. I want to say this tonight in the Dr. King. It was prayer the march in Selma. It was prayer the march in Montgomery, the bus boycott. It wasn't just nobody jump up and say, let's boycott. It was prayer, and prayer carried us to that length. Now, I want to say to you tonight, some of you upset about Trump. I'm going to talk about that. And some of you upset. What you upset for when you're not doing nothing to make a change in your life? See, Trump is a multimillionaire, and all we be putting in his cabinet is millionaires. That's all right because God is in control. Y'all may say, "Well, Bishop talking crazy." This is what Dr. King said. Dr. King said that speech in Memphis, and he did it in Chicago at Reverend Joe Wells Church on 47 and Cottage Grove. No, 47 in South Park then is Martin Luther King Drive now at 47 at Mount Pisgah Baptist Church. And Dr. King could see that the way he was going and with the lack of black support, he know he will run into death. But if getting the news out to you, he said, I would take the death. I want to say to you tonight, think over where you at, what you doing. Look around you. It's no more civil rights. It's human rights. And when you look at your politicians, and I don't want to jump on white folks. I want to deal with black folks. Where are our black leaders at? From the White House to the Senate to the State House, the governors. Now, if we don't get a united front, we are losing every day. And why we're losing is because you are right with what you got and you ain't got nothing. A couple of $1,000 ain't no money. We got some blacks got planes, and we got some ministers that driving around with planes and Rolls Royces and putting on a big show. Dr. King was to my feeding the hungry. We got people right now in Chicago, in California, maybe in your hometown where you at, you're sleeping under the bridge, got nowhere to go, and the government have cut off their mental health. And they're sick. They come from Vietnam. They come from Afghanistan. Some of them been injured, and it's no help for them. They go to the VA, they don't get help because we won't come together. Wake up, black man. Wake up, black woman. Wake up, melanated people. Can't you see there's going to be no place for your son and your daughter? And how can it be some place for them when you let them go on crack? You know they on crack on the corner. You know they smoking reefer. You know them they taking angel dust and you just letting it go by. You know they killing up babies and killing women. They're annihilating themselves. And the government don't care. The mayors don't care. Look in Chicago. Look here at all the murder. All the murder going on in Chicago. It ain't going on in New York. It's not going on in California, in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is bigger than Chicago. New York is bigger than Chicago. You got all them rich folks and the movie stars in California and in New York. They ain't gonna have it. Why are we letting it go on in Chicago? The politics of hate and racism. The politics of we hating each other. So, you might not want to listen to this tonight because I'm pointing the finger at you, not Uncle Bubba, not the crackers y'all say. And reason they said don't call him cracker, he used to crack that whip. That means they call him cracker. He used to crack that whip. Okay? I just want to let you know what the white man got the word cracker. He used to crack that whip on you. And the slave called him cracker. So here come the cracker. That means he cracked that whip and whoop you down your back. And you had whipped all over your back to keep you in line. You know, I want to let you know, our ancestor came here in the bottom of the ship. Some of them died. And you ain't have to wait to Black history to talk about slavery. We all come from slavery. Oh, no, I didn't come from slavery. Yes, you did. You're out of your mind. You come from slavery because your ancestor came. I came from slavery. You came from slavery. But you make your life better. You're standing on the back of your grandmother, your great-grand. You're standing on the back of many slaves who was killed and murdered right here in America, right here in Chicago, right in Mississippi, right down in Arkansas, right down in Texas, right down in Louisiana, right here in Indiana. Don't forget where you come from. Don't forget the price that was paid for us. and we done forgot. We get a little money in our pocket, and we forget, and we want, and this is especially for the athletes, the them that playing basketball and football and running. They done forgot what it's all about. I remember when blacks couldn't go to Alabama State. They couldn't go to Mississippi State. They couldn't go to the major colleges. But now they're running up and down the field. Ain't nobody told them that people got killed trying to get in trying to get in college. Ain't nobody told them they had to get the National Guard for them to go to school in Little Rock, Arkansas. Nobody ever told them about that. Or if we done wrote it off, our educated system is not educating our young black men and women about what we went through to get where we at. They want to blend in. They want to blend in. They want to come in and be a part. You can't be a part of Europe. You ain't from Europe. You can't be a part of Europe because you're not in Europe. You can't be a part, go there, be a part of Germany. You can't be a part of Russia. You're not from Russia. You're from Africa, and you got to go by what's going on in Africa, what's going on there, and those people are hurt like we hurt. And you got to know we're one family, and we have to come together. And you got to weed out all the coons and all the niggers. Yeah, you got to weed them out. You know, Dr. King wasn't so graphic like this, but it's to the point now, live or die. It's to the point now that we got to survive. And if your son is on drugs, you got to call him out. If your daughter on drugs, you got to call. If your cousin or whatever, you got to call them out and stand them up. Say, hey, I'm not gonna tolerate it. Cause if if we don't watch out, you're gonna get killed out there. People being killed because somebody's feeding drugs in our community. Somebody's feeding guns in our community. You got a young boy, 13. He got a 9 millimeter. 16, he got an AK-47. These are guns used in war. What they're doing on the street of Chicago, what they're doing down in Jackson, Mississippi, what they're doing down in Birmingham, Alabama, what they're doing down in Atlanta, Georgia. Do you hear what I'm saying tonight? We have to be able to police ourselves. And once we police ourselves, we can go to the man and say, this is what we want and this is what we demand. We can't demand nothing because we're destroying ourselves. I wish I had somebody. Here's Dr. King. Now, Dr. King talked about what happened back then, but the killing in Chicago passed that. Over 1,000 last year, and the year before last, over 1,000. That's 2,000 people. And we up. Right now, we're up to about 200 injured, and I think about 75 or more being killed. Right now, as I speak tonight, could be more when they play down. You know, they play it down. Don't want you to know what's going on. Not only Chicago being highlighted, but it's happening in Atlanta. It's happening in Jackson, Mississippi. It's happening in Nashville. It's happening in the black world. It's happening, black folks, in the black world. Mothers crying in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, in Minnesota. Mothers crying about their sons and daughters. Not only the police shooting them, we're shooting each other. We're shooting each other. And our politicians have turned their back and have more conscience. You name the minister, you name the church, have not spoken out or come together to say, let's solve this problem. It could be your son, your daughter, your mother, your sister, your brother, and many of you are hurting. You need a healing. But you can't get the healing until you solve the problem. And the problem is us, melanated man, family, black family. I'm talking to the black family tonight. The black family need to wake up. Stop turning your head when your son got dope and cocaine in your house. If you're going to starve without poison the community. Dope poison, cocaine poison. It's poisoning the mind and soul of our children, our family. We're destroying each other. We self-destroying ourselves. You ain't got to wait for nobody. You're destroying yourself, and you want to point your finger at somebody. You can't point your finger at nobody. You can't walk in your neighborhood at night. This is serious business, people. And well, let's march. Marching ain't the thing to do. Let's stop it. Let's go to the source and stop it. See, everybody want to march. No, marching was good in Dr. King Day. We don't need to march. We need to stop it. And you go to the resources to stop it. It's money. The UN came out with a report. Said Chicago. It said America. Young men are being killed by terrorists. They call the police terrorists here in Chicago. Go check the UN, and the UN wanted to give money to bring programs, but the Democratic Party wouldn't let them bring the programs in America. Y'all better hear what I'm saying tonight. Check it out. Read it for yourself. This is the facts. The UN did a research on all the killings in America, and they said we want to come in to Chicago, New York, and see why all this killing going on. And the Democratic Party didn't refuse to let them come in, and they were to bring money into the neighborhoods to do community policing. They stopped it. I want to share that with you. You know, we're going to overcome, but at what means? Is you're going to lose your daughter, your son, you're going to lose your life because you quiet, because you think everything is hunky-dory. It's not. We're living in a situation where it's terror on every corner. People getting shot at school, kids getting out of school being shot, kids coming to school with guns and shoot up everybody in the school. What's happening, people? Where's the human rights at? You can't get worried. Don't need to get worried, just that we have to work this thing out. The college, the university, and we have to work this out. It's more bigger than Trump. Trump is just a small piece of the puzzle. You hear what I'm saying? You got to look at this thing where we're coming from. Dr. King didn't die in vain. We have to understand the dynamic of what's happening to our world today and what's going on. People don't listen to their pastors. The pastors don't feel like they should be involved. They got to come out of them pulpits. They got to come to the streets. They got to see what's going on with the prostitute, with the young man on the corner rapping. What are you rapping about? Why he got the rap? Why the rappers got more pull than the preachers? Something is happening, people, and I want to tell you, your children is listening to vain stuff, stuff that will destroy a race of people. And it's happening before our eyes, on our watch. And you say it ain't happening to me. The least of these is happening to every one of us. Me, you. So I'm saying to the family, let's go back to the old landmark. Let's go from door to door, from step to step, to find out what we can do to solve this problem. We are the children of the world. Now, I want to say this to you tonight. I had so many calls about Donald Trump and what Donald Trump doing. And I want to say this. If you let everybody into this country and they ain't checked, now, the people say, well, Donald Trump, he wrong. No, shut the borders down. That's right. Shut everything down till you see what you got in here, what you got here. Now, let me tell you this is what's happening. People come in from other countries, they get welfare, they get food stamps, they get a stipend from the government, and they get housing and education. You got people already here that was born here can't get that. So it need to be a shutdown, and then they take the jobs. When they get through, they go back home with the education, the technology, and everything, and we're robbed. Now, I don't blame him for closing the borders down. See what we got. See who doing what. Who bringing it here. It was a flood of people here. And if you're a black man, you can't get a job. What you think all this killing about Chicago? Ain't no jobs. But other people come in to my safe haven. What you got a safe haven in Chicago? You got blacks on 47 and 43rd and all down so you can't get a job. But people come in, refugees come in and get a job, get welfare, food stamp, somewhere to stay, and get a voucher to go to school free. He did right to shut it down and find out what's going on. That's number one. Now, number two, we have to get up and let him know what we want and what we want. I ain't worried about the last administration, because we know the last administration, they're going to holler. They wouldn't let him do nothing. Did everything they wanted to do. I ain't going back to the, I'm dealing with what's happening right now. What's happening today. What's going to happen tomorrow. I ain't worried about what happened yesterday. And if you talking about the Obamacare, hey, if you ain't got no money, you can't get Obamacare. 250, 2,000, and it was 2,050 people marching for Obamacare because they working, they can afford it. But somebody down on their luck, they can't get it. And if you get it, if you don't get it, they're gonna take your income. Them folks ain't got no income. We got invisible people. We got people here in America ain't got no welfare card, ain't got no social security card. They sleeping under the viaduct. They sleeping in bandit buildings. In Detroit, they tore all the buildings down. Okay, so we're in a housing situation that's finna come up. We're in a situation where they're taking the vouchers. All this finna happen, if we don't stand up and begin to demand what we want. The borders need to be closed so we can straighten out what we got here. How many people that done took your job? How many people that took your place uh, in school? You can't get in school. You ain't got no voucher. And these people come here, they get a voucher, they get welfare, they get and get social security cards. So if you don't stop, we are destruction on the inside. But we're the people of the world. What I'm saying to you tonight, you got to look at the real deal and stop trying to be, you know, you love everybody, but you don't love yourself. Look at you, black man. Look at you. You here, you ain't getting no welfare. You're not getting a social security card. You're not getting a voucher. You're not getting nowhere to house yourself. You sleep on the street. You sleep in the cars. And your women and children ain't got nothing to eat. See, why you gonna make it easy for people that ain't worked? We have worked. Our forefathers worked. They promised us 40 acres of music. We ain't got that yet. I guess I'll let you know we the people of the world. Let's play this here. Maybe you'll wake up. We are the one that built this country. This is the time. This is the time for us to come together. People dying all over the world. We are the people. Black, white, brown, green, wherever you at. Let's come together. That's right. That's right. We are the world, and we have to come together. Family, but we can't do it without we together. Black, brown, Jew, Muslim, Christians, whatever it is. We have to come together. Of the world. Think about it. Let's start giving. I'm praying for you and you today as we come. It's going to be all right. I'm praying that we'll come together. Stay in school, stay in college, get your education, stay with God. We are the world. We the children of our ancestors. We are the ones. We. Let's start the giving of each other. We got to make a choice. Save our life. Global warming, storms and floods. We are the world. We the children. We can make a brighter day for somebody else. Let's start giving ourselves love, happiness, and joy in the power of the Almighty God. Tonight, I want to say in the spirit of Martin Luther King, Dr. M.L. Sargent, Reverend A.I. Dunlap, Bishop Louis Ford, and many ministers that stood, Margaret Garvey, and those that come forth, your ancestors, your mama, your daddies that's gone on, that you're living on their prayers. Think about what you can do as an individual to make things a little bit better. We are the world. That's right. A radical change